Entitled, privileged guys love a good power struggle. Now, why would entitled, privileged, masculine energy love a good power struggle? Because they like to debate and they like to win. Hi, Diamond Girls. I'm really curious. Do you believe your man feels he deserves special treatment or he should get it his way? Are all men really secretly privileged in that they expect the world to respond to them and accept certain behaviors from them that otherwise they would not accept in return? I'm going to tell you, yes, I think most men have a little bit of an elitist streak, and I'm going to share with you some masculine energy reasons why I believe this and what you can do about it in your relationship if your guy behaves like a little privileged elite male. Now, if you're new to my channel, I'm Adrienne Everheart. I'm a feminine energy dating and relationship coach. It would mean so much to me if you took a moment and clicked that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified if I'm live. And as always, subscribing is absolutely free. It's just a way to support my channel, and I thank you. So let's start with the most troubling type of privileged behavior or being entitled, which is I get things that you don't get. I get to do things that you don't get to do. I don't suffer the same repercussions or the same effects. This especially shows up in I can get mad, I can yell, I can withdraw, I can jump to conclusions, I can make big mistakes, and you're just going to forgive me. You're just going to, sweep it under the rug. We're going to forget about it. Don't you dare ever bring it back up again, because he relives that shame all over again. So he's very much privileged. I've had a lot of clients where their husband has cheated on them, and the wife really needs to get closure and talk about the affair. And the husband's like, no, it happened. You forgave me. We need to move on. They don't want to talk about it. It's very privileged behavior in a lot of ways, in that they are so entitled to receive wonderful treatment from you no matter what their actions are. So a good way to begin reversing this is using your feminine energy powers of empathy. And this is letting a man know how this feels to you and stating it in such a way where he is not blamed or accused or further felt small from whatever masculine energy thing goes on inside of men when they feel the least bit criticized. So in the case of the person with a spouse that was unfaithful, you can let them know something like, this doesn't feel resolved to me, and just because it happened in the past doesn't mean I'm necessarily over it. It would feel really good to speak with a professional about this. What do you think? Now, for the man who is so entitled that he can get mad and yell at you whenever he wants to, yet the occasional time that you lose yourself and raise your voice at him, well, it's all he remembers anymore. It's all he ever talks about is the time you got mad and called him this name. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, he takes full advantage of this quite often. So this is totally unfair, and it's totally an act of, I deserve special treatment. But a lot of times men maybe don't see what they're doing, or they don't want to see what they're doing. They don't want to acknowledge it. Now, I talk about this in a lot of my videos, that for many, many generations of women before you, their survival, their reason they were able to stay alive was because they knew to be nice to a man. If you think about even Victorian England, which you might think was, a little more dignified and up with the current times. Well, land ownership. If a woman's husband died and she didn't have a son, that's it. You don't own anything anymore. So your survival was dependent upon being nice to a man. So that's in your DNA. That's at work right now, and it's also in men's DNA. I believe we've all kind of come by this very honestly, and it's not too late to begin doing things a new way and communicating your boundaries and empathy and need for mutual respect. Now, I have to be honest with you. Do I think it's going to work? Absolutely. No, I don't. Again, I think this is a masculine energy trait. I might get a lot of men who really don't like this video, But most men that you may even see in the media, they're having affairs on their wives, politicians, or things happen. It's mostly men in this world who are behaving badly. And so there's something to this that's in their DNA, it's in their masculine energy that they really think they can kind of get away with this. So that sort of privileged, and I am something different, I can take this risk, I can take this big chance and behave badly. I do believe they come by it honestly. So I don't think they're going to make some radical change and they're just going to be good boys and behave more like women. I don't think that that's going to happen. But in your relationship, you can begin to change the dynamic that's happening in your relationship. Letting your partner know how you feel really does encourage empathy. So when you yell at me, I feel so small. I feel scared. I feel like I want to run and hide. And then you have now a situation where the man is identifying with how you feel. And he may not care how you feel. He might throw your feelings out the window. And if he does, keep trying it again the next time it happens, and also set a boundary. You can say something like, let's speak to each other with soft communication. What do you think? Or, please, you're starting to get loud. Let's keep it down. Now, if you have a very privileged guy, he might then say, well, speak for yourself, because I remember 3 weeks ago, it was you who was yelling at me. Or today, just earlier, you snapped at me. That wasn't soft communication. Remember, masculine energy doesn't like to be told what to do or how to do it or anything like that. And then you get the chance to be empathetic and say, okay, yes, you're right, but going forward, I'd really like for us to practice it, and please let me know if I'm getting loud. I want to respect you just like I want you to respect me. So one of the best things you can do is avoid power struggles at all costs. Now, a power struggle is when he has a very strong opinion about something and you also have a very strong opinion about something. Now, you've heard me say many times, feminine energy is not a doormat. You're not here to just lie down and go, okay, honey, go be mad, and I'm gonna go sit over here and knit in the corner. It's not anything like that. It's really more about, I can identify where this is going. I'm smart enough, I'm the adult in the room, I can identify where this is going, and it's turning into a power struggle with my partner, and I know how they behave and how they respond. So when you get into your masculine energy, I talk about those two rams on the mountaintop, right? You don't want to get into that power struggle with a man. You want to be like, you do you. You can feel however you want to feel. You can have whatever issue you want to have. That's okay with me. I don't need to debate it. I don't need to challenge you on it. I've got my boundary over here. So depending on what it may be, you can always fall back on your boundaries. I talk a lot about boundaries. They are for your physical, mental, spiritual well-being. They are not preferences where I prefer that you not yell at me. No, it's like when you yell, I feel terrible. No yelling. If you yell, then I will leave the room. If you yell, then I will not stand here and speak with you. So we're having some if-then logical consequences and logical conversations with your partner. You can incorporate that into any type of power struggle with a man, including just turning around and walking away and going, okay. Okay is one of my most favorite scripts. It just instantly dissolves everything. Just earlier today, my husband and I, we were enjoying some nice hot fresh biscuits from a local restaurant we really like. And the whole time my husband's eating his biscuit, he goes, oh, this is so good fresh. It would just be terrible if it was, saved, or if we had DoorDash deliver it. It's so much better fresh. This tastes so good fresh. And I'm just like, well, we really don't have to worry about that because we're eating it fresh right now. Like, we don't have to worry about eating stale biscuits, But that would have been in some way engaging in his little power struggle about the best way that biscuits taste, hot, fresh out of the oven, and not delivered by some service or not saved for later. So you understand, part of my boundary is I want to conserve my energy. And you also may want to conserve your energy and just not engage in things like this. So feminine energy really is about having that higher awareness about what's going on around you, picking your battles. Is this your masculine energy trying to prove a point to a guy? Or do you really just want to save your energy and let that person be autonomous and let them feel however they want to feel about something? You don't have to change how anyone feels about something. You just have to be true and authentic to yourself. Now, this last tip for your entitled and privileged guy is to show him respect. Oh boy, you do not want to have disrespect for someone who feels very entitled and privileged. Now, why would you want to do this if they're going to treat you with disrespect? Well, because you want to lead by example. And this person became entitled for a reason. They feel very privileged for a reason. Either, their family of origin let them get away with this and it was just easier, or it's just something in their DNA, their characteristics. They just developed this way. But also, again, I think a lot of masculine energy men have that naturally. They've kind of come by it naturally, that they get a different type of treatment and response. And respect is like a really perfect example of how if you treat a man with disrespect, he'll never forget it. Like, he'll hold on to it forever, and he'll possibly even like somehow punish you for that or break up with you for that. It's a big masculine energy no-no. So how do you lead by example? How do you treat someone with respect who is otherwise getting a tone with you or talking down to you or just being downright obviously disrespectful? So I want you to really rely on all your feminine energy resources, which is staying calm, not over investing too much energy into that situation. Peel your energy off the man. You don't want to control him. You don't want to manipulate him. You want to take all the pressure off this guy and be true to yourself. Be respectful and lead by example. And as always, speak your boundaries. You can let someone know, I'm feeling really talked down to right now, and I doubt that's what you're intending, is it? You will most often get the response of no. No one's going to admit, yeah, I'm talking down to you. I mean, maybe there's some guy out there that will, but in most cases, a person will say, I don't really want to talk down to you. I don't mean to be doing that. I don't want to upset you or hurt your feelings or anything like that. And then you can begin to go, well, great. I really want to stay on the same page and be respectful of each other. And then the guy's like, sure, of course. So now you have that set point and you have some dialogue where you're staying very calm instead of doing something like, don't get that tone with me or don't speak to me that way. You have a very different type of energy coming into this. And over time, it will really change the dynamic of the relationship because your entitled guy likely got this way and has experienced this with lots of other relationships, although he will probably never admit it to you that it's been a problem or it's been a problem with, why other relationships failed or why he didn't get along with his parents or whatever it may be. But in your relationship, that's where you have a presence. That's where you can stand as the powerful dynamite woman you are and really do your best work for you so that you get treated fairly, that you're not over investing in power struggles and things that upset your central nervous system, that you're able to stay calm and centered in your body as much as possible. So the last thing I want to share with you about anyone who's privileged or entitled, other than being factual and very logical, is you're refraining from it becoming a big, emotional, dramatic situation where you're a victim, they're persecuting you, or you're persecuting them, or anything like that. You really want to learn how to recognize when you step into these old patterns that do not serve you anymore. Now, if you want to learn more, head on over to my website, everheartcoaching.com. I have got lots of self-study resources and courses that you can get, including 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. It is my top-selling ebook out there. It comes with a 2-day video class. I'll have all those links below, and I would love to hear from you in the comments, good or bad, whatever you think about privileged or entitled people. All right, lots of love. Until next time, bye-bye.